Attorneys representing the Diocese of Madison say they will file suit if parishes in the diocese are not permitted to operate at the same capacity as retail outlets. The letter to county and city officials from law firms, including the Becket Fund for Religious Liberty, states in part, quote, "This unequal and unfair treatment violates the church's cherished constitutional freedoms and, more importantly, hobbles unconscionably its pastoral mission." Joining me now on Skype to talk more about this is Bishop Donald J. Hying of the Diocese of Madison. Your Excellency, that is, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, Your Excellency, under the county's reopening guidelines, houses of worship are being limited to 50 people regardless of the building's capacity, with threats of fines of up to more than $1,000 for every instance in which more than 50 people gather for Mass. What's the impact of this, and what's it going to have on the church?
It's just a little bit of history. After the state Supreme Court struck down the governor's directives, the emergency order number 2 from the county allowed us to be at 25% capacity of building occupancy. So in good faith, we went forward with that plan for all of our 11 counties. The other 10 counties have no restrictions whatsoever. So we came up with a plan that was very careful, very safe, very prudent. And then the day we issued our plan, the next day they came out with Executive Order number 3, which reversed that and limited in Dane County to only 50 people in each site. So we have the situation where there are parishes with 1,200 seating capacity limited to 50 people. So we simply want to be treated like every other organization in the county.
Yeah, places of worship are the only category capped by a specific number rather than general capacity restrictions. Retail establishments, on the other hand, are permitted to operate at 25% capacity. What kind of message do you think this sends?
The message that we understand is that, we're limited in our capacity to celebrate Mass, which is our central activity as Catholics. The Sunday Mass for us is everything. So other businesses are able to operate their fundamental function at 25%. We're not asking for special treatment. We're simply asking to be treated the same as everyone else. That for our essential function, which is Sunday Eucharist, that we can be at 25% in Dane County, as we are asking the other 10 counties of the diocese to observe in a safe, prudent, and careful way as we gradually reopen.
Yeah, and this has been such a difficult time for so many people, making the outreach of the church even more essential than ever. Can you talk about how the restrictions have impacted the church's outreach and also what you've done to adjust?
Yeah, as for all of us, these past 12 weeks have been very difficult. Without Sunday Mass, without the ability for our people to gather. Through all these weeks, we've kept our parishes open, and our priests have been heroic in offering confessions, times for Eucharistic adoration, time for personal prayer. As we're gradually reopening, again, we're trying to do what we can in tandem with everyone else so that we safely, prudently reopen, but very aware that we need Mass. The world needs God, and we need the healing power of Christ's love, especially when we look at all the dissension, violence, and injustice that's engulfed our country. We've never needed Sunday Mass more than right now, and that's what we're trying to do.
Your Excellency, quickly, I don't have much time, but I'm curious, do you think that there will be a resolution to this without litigation? And also, what would be your message to county and city officials there in Madison?
I'm prayerfully hopeful that they will take seriously our request and look at the reasons for acceding to our request, which is very logical and reasonable. My message to them is simply that, to look at what we're asking and realize that what we're asking is no different than what's being allowed for other organizations. And certainly my prayers are with them. In no way do I mean to be conflictual or challenging with this. If we can resolve this quietly, I'd be the first person wanting to do that.
Well, Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Bishop Donald J.
Tracy.
Hying of the Diocese of Madison. Thank you again.